So here we go again, guys, with the next phase of our GTR rebuild.
When I get in, I take a shower, read a book and feel empowered. Smoking on that sour got me counting down the hours, thinking of all the shit that they could do but won't allow us. Then I realized they all some fucking cowards. The world is ours. Me and my brother twin like the towers, and we want it now, never later. No more favors done with all these traitors who be haters on the low. They just hate to see you grow.
So we are in the process of our meticulous disassembly, parts procurement, and repair phase. And we have quite the luxury of having beautiful parts racks here. Pretty much have the entire car disassembled on this rack. Bottom shelf, we got some of our replacement parts we're waiting on. We've done a lot of unwrapping, which we will cut to B-roll of the legendary Chumley unwrapping the car. And so yeah, we have some of our disassembly going on, or our organization of our disassembly going on over here. I'll take you over to the car right here. Now, fortunately, we have a client in this build that is all in for going all out. And he decided, since we're redoing the front of the car, that, you know, might as well use some pretty cool fancy parts. So we did go ahead and order a straight from Japan Nismo front bumper on this car, and that just arrived today. Pretty sweet, super high quality carbon fiber in this piece. This is a Nissan part. There's a lot of knockoffs and aftermarkets out there, which I know and have experience with because we already tried one of those on this build, and it didn't fit. And I told the customer I wasn't comfortable putting that on the car. It was going to, you know, kind of devalue the whole depth of the quality that we're going through with this job. It was not fitting good. It was just sloppy. It wasn't up to our standards. So he was like, okay, let's go Nismo. I'm like, okay. So we'll probably have a separate video of Nismo front bumper conversion for these GTRs, where I'll outline all the stuff you guys would need to buy in order to do this conversion, but we don't have all that stuff yet. So we'll go over that when we get there, but I'm happy to see this shut up. It took about a month to get to us, and we're ready to move forward with the paint process. So if you check this out, it's totally official. We got these sweet like serial number badging inside right here. Super high quality carbon fiber part. Actually, I mean, I do have experience in that in the McLaren that we just built, and I've seen some of the OEM quality parts that come off of that, and this is right up there. This is really high quality. I like it. So I'm excited to work with this and do some cool paint stuff. Of course, we want to leave some carbon exposed and show that off, but excited to work with that. Wrapping around to the car, you can see we're pretty much disassembled. We are disassembled enough to do the repairs. We have the front end fit to near perfection. The last millimeter will come into play when everything's painted and everything actually gets hung for the final time on the car. But as you can see, rear body torn down pretty much to the shell. We have some prior repair work that was done here underneath the wrap, and it was kind of crummy. And so we took the primer and Bondo that they had off there off, and we're going to fix that properly. As you can see, we have all the glass out because we're painting this car to that level of standard. We're painting the roof, changing that color, and we want to make sure that we get color properly all the way down into these areas and aren't masking off any rubbers when we do this. There is a lot of stuff we have to fix on this car that we're finding from the prior wrap shop that did some, like, I don't know, use drywall mud or caulking or something to glue this stuff back on. Wrong nuts here and there that we've been ordering from the dealers. But yeah, from this point on, tomorrow we're going into fixing a few spots on the fenders and the quarter panel, and then we'll be ready to paint. Okay, so we're talking about how to get the best quality paint job today, because that is what we always strive for. The best quality. Perfection is, it's something I'll be chasing, I think, for the rest of my life, right, Brett? Getting a little better every day, every job, improving things a little bit every time, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's different stages when it comes to paint jobs, right? You can go to Mako and you can get a paint job for $500. That's not what we do here. And it's okay. Some people need that, right? It's good for, like,
Get what you pay for.
right. You had the Mako on the old the taco, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, no offense to Mako, but there's just levels to this thing, right? If you want a higher quality paint job, it's going to take an extreme amount of work in disassembly and preparation. It's going to take a high quality paint material, and you can't cut any corners. That's what we were just talking about in the booth the other day.
Yes.
It's like, you'll see a lot of guys on YouTube, or you'll see a lot of guys out there that put this stuff out on social media, where obviously they can paint, they know what they're doing, like they do it for a living, and they're very skilled, right? But it's the little things that make a difference. We're going to walk up there, we're going to talk about that right now. But let's talk about the different levels of a paint job. You have a concourse paint job, right? Insert picture of green Subaru here. We've done it before. You got a car down to the shell, and you paint and pearl and clear coat the underside of the car. There's something to be said about that, but it's also, why would you do that on, let's just say, a 1,500 horsepower car that you're going to go do 200 miles an hour on a half-mile track event? Like, you want it to look cool, but at the same time, is that necessary? Like, so nobody's knocking anyone for anything, right? I mean, there's just levels to it and what you're going to do. So this car is not, the car that we're working on right now is not a concourse level. We didn't gut the interior and take the fuel lines out and paint the bottom of the car. Customer's not expecting that, nor paying for something like that. But we're still going to get the highest level of quality on the exterior and the look and the shine and everything that really matters for the 99% of it, right?
Yeah.
So the way that we do that is complete disassembly. As you can see here, we have the guts of the doors. You look around, you look on what other people put out, you'll see a lot of things masked off, you'll see handles masked off. I mean, that's a whole nother ballgame, right? But these are the guts of the doors. We didn't cut any corners when it came to that. We'll go get some shots and we'll take a look at the body of the car and the jams and the body panels and the engine bay and all that stuff. We went to an extreme length to make sure that we got good quality paint there. And the reason the quality comes into play is because if you're putting masking tape around bolts and plugs and handles and all this kind of stuff, you're gonna have edges on the paint. It doesn't look as good, it doesn't look as uniform factory, and you can also have points for failure at those areas where you decide to do that. So we're gonna go take a look up there. So here we have the body of our GTR, and as we explained, all glass out, everything disassembled. Get a shot of the unisides. We got the little clippy doos out of there where the moldings clip into. Essentially nothing is masked off on this car. The engine bay was a little different. Like I said, we didn't remove fuel lines and stuff, but you're talking on the firewall behind the engine on a car that's not going to be judged at a concourse level, right? You got to take everything into consideration. But what we did here first is we pre-jammed the car, as I guess the terminology for it, right? So Brett came in here and it was orange, and he put a gray sealer on there. He put the black base coat on there. He put the 3 coats of pearl coat on there, and you can see it kind of bled out into here. So he finished this all off, and the reason that we're doing it this way is because it's a thing, it's something you got to trade off. Some people say the only way to paint the quarter panel on a car is to take the door off and do all this and paint it all the way to your edge here so that you don't have a clear coat line right here, right? Some people say. In this instance, if we did that, we wouldn't be able to have the door lined up to the quarter panel and the fender lined up to the door and make that pearl look perfect. So we have to pick, either paint the whole quarter panel in there or have a clear coat line there. And all we're choosing is a clear coat line there because we painted it already once. We did the sealer, we did the prime, we did all the body work beforehand, and we put a coat of clear on it. So all we got to do is go in here and sand this thing, have all the stuff hung up, and we're putting a coat of base coat on there and 3 coats of the pearl coat on there and clear coat. So it's just straight color and clear once we get it in the booth. So yeah, we're kind of painting the car twice, but we're doing that to maintain the highest level of quality that we can. with this chameleon color here. So we did the same process to the parts that are off the car. We're going to do the same process to the bumpers, as I just explained in there. So we're going to show you the stuff in the booth here and the level of disassembly with it. So as you can see, we have our doors. We already talked about the guts down in the shop, but get a shot in here, Jake. It's an empty door shell. So, like I said, we got all that quality going there. This stuff's still a little bit sticky. We have our sealer. This is what the sealer looks like. That's G7, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the darkest sealer PPG has. And so once this is all cured and everything, and we hang it all on the car, sand it down, and all we'll have to do is put color and clear coat over this. So Brett did put all the color on this fender as a test panel, just to make sure that everything looks how we want it to. We can check it out in the sun, on the car, all that. But as you can see, clear coat edge to edge, color everywhere we need it. Even the bottom side of the hood. I think previously this wasn't clear coated, right? From Nissan, no. It was what we call engine bay. So it's a flat finish, and they do that in manufacturing cars to save cost in material that they're dumping on the car. So all they had to do was put the color on with an activator in it, and it was solid. It's not getting exposure to the sun, so you don't have to worry about the protection from the UV rays and stuff like that, which is a big part of what the clear coat does, but also looks like shit. So it's pretty cool when you go open the hood on your 1500 horsepower car to show everybody all the cool stuff under there, to lift it up and you see clear coat on the bottom of the hood. People who know that is the high quality paint job we're looking for. So we're excited to take you guys along this journey. Next step is to let this stuff dry, get it all hung up on the car, prep the rest of the car, and then shoot the entire car at one time.
I know, but that was really actually cool, man. I know, I was like thinking, because it's so funny because, like you were saying, it's like you were saying down there, it's like, every paint job is a portrait of the person that did it, so it's like when you see these crummy ones, you're like, man, it's like, that's something you've never been able to do. You're like, I will just not do that. I'm not going to mask off a door handle or... Yeah,
I mean, when I told this guy, I was talking to him, and he's like, well, let's fix it, and, I want to change the color and do a full paint job. I'm like, okay, but we're only doing this one way.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the way, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, if he wanted to, I suppose we could have torn that thing down to a real shell and been laying under it like this, but like I said, it's that would be silly to do something like that on this car, right?
Yeah.
But you know as well as I do that this is the primo quality way of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people with the eye like you got, when you're out there, when we go out and see cars, you can tell what's good and what ain't.
Right.
And that's going to be the cool part with this guy. He's going to be like, wow, damn, fuck. Getting looks from everywhere.
You're gonna have something special. You hit the nail on the head. That is it. I've always told you that, right? That's your signature on the car. Yeah. Right. We're putting out some pretty cool stuff lately.
Yeah.
I think we're putting out some cool stuff. So who knows what's going to be next?
I know, right?
This thing cruising. So as we were saying about lining the panels up and all that, here's an example of an OEM level. I mean, OEM. For those who know, OEM paint is not the best quality paint. It's just not. It has orange peel. It has issues, and this is an example of what we're talking about at Pearl. We're working with a Soul Red Mazda here, and it's like a 4-stage, right? It has a candy clear coat that goes over it and a bunch of metallic and pearl in it and stuff. And if you look at the bumper to hood here, it clearly doesn't match. It's lighter and yellower here, and it's redder and deeper here, and it's because when they were spraying it, it's unreasonable to think that a manufacturer would do this in the factory, to hold the bumper up there and paint the paint like this, right? So that you're gonna have some variance there. But when we're going for something like this, we're trying to eliminate as much of that as we can.
Roman, not in here.
Have you ridden it before?
No.
Wait, no, hold my hand. Hold my hand.
No, I'll hold Tyler's hand. See?
Lift your, and if you want to stop it, you got to lift your front heel.
Okay.
Like lift your front heel off like that. Like do like a Michael Jackson move. And it'll stop. Oh no, you're back.
It's gravel, bro.
Oh shit, oh shit. Whoa, 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 go the other way, away from the cars.
I'm not getting all this shit ever.
Here, watch. Do it again. Watch. Let me show you. I will just hold your hand on.
Alright, so if you've been following the GTR build, you've seen that we have gotten up to the point where it's time to do the body repairs and paint process. Now we've already come through the car and we've repaired any little dings there might be around. Just a couple scuffs and scrapes here and there from a 6-year-old-ish car. We got the whole thing primered, we sanded the whole thing, we pre-jammed everything and pre-clear coated the outside of the panels so that when we went in the booth here all we have to do is the base coat, the top coat, and the clear coat. So we're about to hop in the booth and spray this. As you'll be able to see, the bumpers are hung on the car just for the purpose of putting the color on to make sure the color matches up perfectly panel to panel. We're going to remove those bumpers and clear coat the car and then clear coat the bumpers in the morning. So we're going to take you along for the ride.
Take you along for a ride, foreshadowing?
Maybe in foreshadowing. Take you along for a ride. I have talked in depth about how important it is to walk the whole side of the car. I think I've come up with something very innovative that's going to make that a lot easier for a lot of you painters out there.
Unless you talking numbers, we ain't speaking about the right things. Switch up on my nigga for a figure, that's not like me. Baddie with a body in the lobby, she like nice things. She used to know me then, she like me now, that's funny timing. Eyes been on that prize, I cop that crib for that timepiece. I'm trying to see the globe and sell out shows until the flight leave. They wanna ride my ties, but they ain't even ride or die, please. But I've been short on time and in the prime of my prime easy. I said I never changed and leveled up, I guess I lied, yeah. Off that strain of potent just to feel like I'm alive, yeah. Mix that with that potion just to feel like I'm that guy, yeah. So know the one you talking to, you way outside your line, yeah.
For the sake of uniformity and to cross-check my
Spray pattern?
the spray pattern on my arm, yeah, we're gonna have Brett hop in and put one of the pearl coats on the car. He's gonna try some different spray techniques and try and lay down a little even pass on there. It's not an experiment. It's we are doing this for the purpose of higher quality,
In the sake of science.
in the sake of science. Yeah.
The content. Damn, dude,
You look like a superhero right now. All suited up with your arms.
Let me not even say this shit. I just ran out of my patience. I just got tired of waiting and got here myself. Niggas want me to believe in the dream that they see for themselves and still doubt in themselves. They might as well light up the L. High top on 10 toe, drip retro. Talking major plays, hella high tech through the Getro. Pin game, pin petrol. Just set it in the flesh hole. Send a text mail to give a wet clothes. On the vapor wave to make a drip drip with the left lobe in the left stroke. I'ma make plays, I'ma go long. Never look back so long. Yeah. Flex up. Shawty on 10, finna go up. Bring that to the crib, let me show love. Yeah. Flex up. I'ma make plays, I'ma go long. Never look back so long. I need a bag. Flex up. I need a tag, yeah. Shawty on 10, finna go up. Bring that to the crib, let me show love.